given us this opportunity to launch the Autobiography of God by Lena. And thank you all for coming in and to celebrate this launch. And we'll go for the small audio, and then we'll get on with the rest of the program. I've seen Lena on sets, and I've seen how she seamlessly moves from one character to another. We've all seen that. We've all seen that in her movies. But how she has tackled powerful characters and with immense ease. She crosses boundaries that way. And in this case, today, being the international launch of her book, she's again crossed another huge boundary, discussing how we can discover ourselves and how I went through the book. I got into the book, but it's much more than a book. It's like a revelation. You won't. I couldn't imagine Lena to be such a huge, discussing such huge matters. Lena is that. Here, we're not just talking about Lena. We have two huge luminaries with us, Manju Ramanan and Mini Sharma, to facilitate the launch of the book. Manju has been the editor-in-chief of Filmfare and Femina, and she's a film writer, a critic, and she has her own YouTube channels, and we've a very familiar face among all of us. If you have been, if you're a film enthusiast, and Mini, I've been here for long years, and I've been hearing about her for such a long time. She's a film producer. And she's not just a film producer, she's a film distributor, she's all into 360 degree of filmmaking. And we've all wondered how she wears so many hats on her head. And so we asked her that, coming back to the autobiography of God, it's like, normally people open a book like this, but when I read the book, it was like that. And then you walk into a totally different world and pick pieces of what suits us best. So it's much more than a book, and I'm going to go in and out of this book for a long time. Thank you.
Shall we get the
Yes, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Manju Rangan and Vinny Sharma. Manju will launch the book with Vinny receiving it.
Thank you so much to everyone who's come here. Thank you to the Sharjah International Book Fair Authority for allowing us this lovely intellectual hall for this whole hour. It's such an honor. I'm so glad to be here, and thank you, my dear friends Manju and Minnie, for this beautiful gesture of love. Thank you for coming here. I think we're ready to launch the book internationally. This is my dear friend Linda. Thank you so much. This is the first copy being handed over to me. And to show you in big enough size, here we have it from Akbar of Lipi Books. Thank you so much. I want to thank a few special people who have been part of this experience. Sri Akbar, Sri Jacob Burgess, Sri Ravi DC. They've all supported me so much on this journey. I'm so thankful. And thank you, Minnie. I would like you to speak a few words. And this is the kind of love Minnie has. Before I can tell her I would like you to speak a few words, she says, I would like to speak a few words. I call this true friendship. Thank you, Lena. I don't know how many of you are from Kerala. I know the Malayalam. My friend called from Cochin and he told me that, I need you to speak to somebody. I was not expecting Lena. And she spoke to me and said, will you be able to launch this book, or will you be able to receive this book? First minute I was silent because it is an honor, Lena. I worked with Lena for the first film called Ustad. That is the time when I got introduced to her. Ustad Hotel, yeah. So I worked for a lot of films, but the two films which is in my heart with Lena is Ustad Hotel and Airlift. Next time we had a good time was during Airlift. And I'm proud to say that, for Airlift, which is a film with Akshay Kumar, I could see one of my person from Kerala coming and working there, I'm very proud of you. And I know there's a lot of, I've not read the whole book, but here and bits I've been reading. But unless and until you know yourself, you will not be able to judge this book. That's all I can say. Thank you. Vinny, I think that last statement you made, unless you know yourself, you will not be ready to talk about this book. I think that means everything. Thank you so much. I hope you'll join us for the rest of the discussion too. So
So now I think I'll just hand it over to Manju, who is an expert at what she's going to do next. Manju is going to be moderating our session. Thank you. Hello. Yes, hi. Can I request all of you to please keep your phones on silent, because this is going to be a very intensive Q&A and I don't want you guys to miss out on anything that you're going to speak. We speak in English because I am best spoken. I can really speak that language well. I have other languages in the background, but we stick to that. I met Lena, and thanks to Mini and to Lena herself, who we are here in this place together. Both of us are wearing bandhani saris, which is again synchronicity. Everything just fell in place for this book. So before talking too much, let me just ask that one question that I think most of us want to ask her. Do you think you're God? That you think that you need an autobiography to write that book? This book is not the autobiography of Lena, but there are autobiographical moments in the book, and I believe that it's called the Autobiography of God because whoever writes their autobiography, to me, it is the autobiography of God, because God is in every one of us. That's all it means. And so the next page, just after the cover, says, yes, the title is a joke, and it gets funny when you wake up to the first person experience of it, and funnier still when you try to explain it. It gets really funny, and we're seeing all the funniness of it in the trolls, and I'm enjoying them because they're getting the funny side of it. And it's funnier for me because they're trying to explain what they can't.
Yes.
And so it's beautiful, and they've done such a great job of publicity for this book. I could have never have paid for this much coverage in the news. I would have never, all of you sitting here would have never have known about my book. It would have come, and some little writer would have come in the Hindu and in the Indian Express as far as the common man is concerned. For those who read the Hindu, it's like, oh wow. For those who read the Indian Express, it's oh wow. For me, it is oh wow. But for everyone, right now it's become the talk of the town or the world as far as Malayalis are concerned. That's the feedback I'm getting. And the next thing is that, personally, I've been getting only extraordinarily positive reports and messages and calls from people I don't even know. From all over the world, Malayalis from all over the world has been contacting me and saying, wow, I connected with what you said. And that's the only response I'm personally getting. And in the public media, everyone is responding in some way or the other, which means it somehow touched them in some way. How they respond is absolutely up to them, and that's their perspective, and I absolutely respect and honor your perspective. Thank you so much.
Okay, the book starts very interestingly in Kodaikanal, where it starts some years ago, 2 decades ago, and something happened there which resulted in an epiphanic moment, as we call it, and things moved, the stories changed after that. So tell us about, let's go back 20 years over and relive that moment.
So the reason, I will not relive the moment here right now, but the very reason why should I talk about this in a book 20 years later? Because I realized that a lot of youngsters are dabbling with a lot of things that they don't know about, just like I did 20 years ago. And I'm here to tell you it's very dangerous. It is very dangerous. You do not play with fire that way. Because these are the things that grow in nature, and nature can have fury, can have great intelligence, but we should have the capacity to handle it, and we usually don't. And because of that moment, in 2004, I had to be on 14 years of psychiatric medication. So whatever you people have seen in the media are bits and pieces of a 3-hour-long interview. So you have not got the whole picture, but those little bits and pieces have created so much media coverage for the book, and I see all of that as destiny. It's just destiny. I never expected this to happen, but I'm glad it happened. But I'm here to tell you once and for all, in person, and we are going live on my Instagram feed as well, that I do not support any kind of activity that people do on their own
and they have to take responsibility for it, but I'm here to tell you, it is dangerous to play with things you don't know the consequences of. And especially do not take it lightly, like it's just a partying thing. It's not a party. It's a very deep spiritual experience which you may not be able to handle. So please take it very responsibly, all your actions. Because nobody here is doing anything according to what everyone else told them. They are doing what they feel like doing. I'm just here to tell you, please be very careful. I'm nobody to tell you what to do or what not to do. But I'm just here to tell you from my own experience, don't play with it. The other thing is, spirituality in itself is each one's personal perspective. So I'm just sharing my perspective. In no way, 100% will anybody else have the same perspective. And that's what makes us all individuals. My perspective cannot be your perspective. But to learn to respect everyone's perspective as a point of view of that which is life itself that flows in every single body. Does anybody here have a doubt whether it is life that keeps your body alive? I hope nobody has that doubt, because to me that's all there is. Life is the one factor that binds us all and makes us all one. We are all one life in many forms. That's all I'm actually talking about in the book, and it's a book on self-realization. And I believe that self-realization is just this much. Just realizing that we are all one same life in different forms. We are all one. That's all I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Also the fact that extending to what you said, it also means that the vessel, which is our body, has to be ready to take the light that comes onto us. And if we are not ready, you don't need to call it towards us. Am I correct?
If you're not ready, you will not be able to handle when so much consciousness floods the brain. We are consciousness, but how much of us are we living? Do you feel that you're living yourself as life 100%? Do you feel you're living your life 100%? Because you are life itself. Are you expressing yourself 100%? Absolutely content. I am doing my thing. I am happy. Most people are not feeling that way. I am feeling that way right now. And thank you to every one of you who's joined here to listen to this, which makes me feel all the more that I am doing exactly that which I came here to do in this form.
The next question is, you went through this entire spell of psychiatric treatment and medicines. Did you ever question it? And because you also come from education which is based on something similar, did you ever question the fact that, did you dialogue with yourself?
Lovely question, Manju. I don't think a better question could have been asked. I had studied psychology for graduate level, and I'm a Kerala state rank holder for psychology in my degree. And then I went on to do clinical psychology post-graduation. And during my internship, I realized this is not for me. Because I came here wanting to know what is the mind. And I didn't find the answer in 5 years. I couldn't waste more time in that direction. So I went off into spirituality with the same question, what is the mind? So that's as far as that educational background goes. The next thing is, after having studied for 5 years, done my internship, saying this is not for me, I land up exactly in the reverse situation. Now I am in the psychiatric hospital because my parents and my then husband could not relate to what I was saying. The same thing that's happening in the media and the trolls right now, but this is 20 years ago. I do not hold my parents or my ex-husband in any bad light. I love them to bits, and it is for them that I took medication for 14 years, so that they have peace of mind. And I'll tell you what my rationale was. I told myself, or in the sense that in my intuition, or we always talk within ourselves, our inner conversation. When I was in the psychiatric hospital, because they've taken me there saying something's wrong with her. And I'm being put on medication without my acknowledgement or permission. It's basically forcibly done. And the only thing I told myself is, if this is really enlightenment, psychiatric medication cannot take it away from you. And if it is not, let psychiatric medication cure it. Because I studied under that subject. I'm not saying that psychology is not needed or psychiatry is not needed. It is required in many cases. But a lot of spiritual experiences or spiritual ascension, because it's not understood by immediate family members, gets turned into something called a psychiatric disorder that needs to be immediately brought back to normal. Spiritual ascension is not normal. But do you want to pull it down to normal, or do you want to allow that person to explore their spirituality? If you have a guru or you are under some kind of tradition, you will be led. But if your immediate surrounding does not understand what you're saying, you're going to appear very abnormal. Absolutely true. You cannot blame anybody. But I'm just saying, we as a species, as human beings, need to expand our way of looking at things. That's all I'm saying. I'm not blaming anybody because everybody is I. I see everyone as myself. We are all one single life, and I see myself as life itself talking to you through this form called Lena. So I cannot dislike, hate, or not understand others' point of view.
This is beautiful because somewhere compassion, empathy comes into the fore. With so many things happening around her, this book that you're talking about also. All that she looks around is with kindness and empathy, and the fact you include that in the dialogue. You don't distance anyone from that dialogue.
I don't even think it's kindness and empathy anymore. At one point in my life, it was that. Now it's just myself.
You don't see that as an extension?
I have a lot of love for the self, which we all call I. And to me, I equals life.
Okay, there's one question which I think most journalists here will identify with. When we do a story, we have these questions: where, when, what, why, how. The book talks about all these questions. Why am I, usually when you write an article, you say, why am I writing it? Where is it written? When is it being written? How am I going to approach the topic? And why am I writing it at all? She has experimented the same thing with life. So the life is the text now. So tell me about that.
I knew about this only after so much press got on and I was being interviewed. So they told me, in journalism we use these 5 W's. And I said, oh, is it? I didn't know because I'm not educated in journalism. So I didn't know they have this structure. But I think it's the easiest structure to, tackle the point of self-realization in a very practical way. What am I? Who am I? Where am I? When am I? And why am I? If you can't answer these 5 questions to your own satisfaction, you're bound to be disturbed, feeling anxious or stressful. That's all I'm saying. So that's the structure of the book, is these 5 W's. And if you feel that you can answer those 5 questions to your own satisfaction, please don't bother wasting your money on buying the book.
Also, when you seek out, this is a seeker's forum as well. So, when you have a thought which is unusual and you're looking at life, you're looking for somebody who can guide you, hold your hand, be like you, a co-traveler who can, you're not alone in this process. So, were you blessed with these guides? Was it divine intervention? Were these people on your path put to guide you to where you are today?
These last 20 years, I have not had anyone travel with me, be there by my side. This has been a solo trip. I finally started traveling alone also. I called myself solo female traveler because there was nobody was relating with me. So I've waited 20 years and now I see that at least a few people are co-travelers now. And it's okay, I'll wait another 20 years if I'm alive. Because I have nothing else to do here. I'm just sharing my experiences with you, just like I share my travelogues with you. If it does anything good for you, might as well. If it doesn't, it's okay. I'm anyway having a great time. And I've had a lot of unintentional gurus because I believe that everyone is a guru. Everyone talking to you, anything happening to you is your guru. A butterfly coming and sitting in front of me has a sign for me. A rainbow tells me something. A number plate on a car can tell me something. A person can guide me. So we all have lots of guidance. And I have had lovely guides, especially because I work in the most beautiful industry we all love, the film industry. It's already Maya within Maya. So it's a beautiful place to work.
So can you explain who all? And we know some names, some.
Most predominantly, someone who gave me very straight guidance was Sri Mohan Lal on the set of a movie Bhagwan, where he just
Interesting name as well.
Yeah, the movie's name is also Silent Bhagwan, and it was shot within 24 hours. And on the set, Laretan, as we all fondly call him, I see that most people here are Malayalis. So Laretan walks into the set, and I didn't see him. He walked from behind. I had a book in my hand and I was reading, and it was a book called Courage by Osho. So Laretan just came and said, "What are you reading?" So I showed him the book, and he said, "Oh, if you're serious about all this, read the Book of Secrets by Osho. It's the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra's commentaries by Osho." And I just took it very seriously. Oh, Laretan said this, it must be something written. So I bought the book and I started. It's 112 meditation techniques. It's not a book to read, it's a do and learn book. So it took me 2.5 years to do all those 112 techniques. But just imagine, if you did 112 techniques over 2.5 years, you would naturally change. And I changed in a huge way. So I consider him one of my spiritual gurus.
How many of us can boast of this kind of a guru?
It's just fate, destiny, according to me.
Also the fact that if a 23-year-old Lena comes to you today and comes and tells you about her dreams, her epiphanies, what would be that you would tell her?
I'm actually speaking to the 23-year-old Lena when I write this book. Because you can be 98 years old and still be the 23-year-old Lena. And what I would like to say is, everything is destiny. We have a blueprint. I know a lot of people don't believe in destiny or fate. And that's fine, that's your point of view. And if it's serving you in your highest good, it's empowering you. Your belief is empowering you, please stick to it. If it's not, you can check for other points of view. I'll tell you why this is. I just started learning Vedic astrology recently. I didn't believe in it maybe till 2011. I didn't believe in astrology at all. I didn't believe in destiny. I was this person who said free will. And then I realized it's the ego who wants to say, I am doing this, I am doing that, I have free will. But now, at 42, I'm 42 years old, now the 42-year-old me knows for sure that I couldn't be sitting here at the intellectual hall at the Sharjah International Book Fair talking to these lovely people about a book that went viral. I can't make something viral. If I could, I would have been doing movie publicity that went viral. No, you can't. It just happens. Just like whatever is happening here. And in Vedic astrology, I'll tell you a couple of examples. One, we call it Jatagam in Kerala. I call it the blueprint. I'll just say it's a blueprint on which the life is built up, and you can decide what material to build on the blueprint. That much free will we all have because we need that improvisation. But what I have seen from my life, I'll tell you. One, it says just two instances. One, you may choose not to have children. I did, which I think was a good decision given the direction I'm going in. Second thing, in my blueprint, it says you will become a writer at the age of 40. And so just those two examples, just random examples. You don't want to believe in it, please don't believe in it. Please believe in whatever empowers your experience. That's all I say. Believe in something that is empowering to you, not something that brings you down. Something that helps you live a better life, whatever it may be.
This is my favorite question. It's a question I've been with Lena. We use this word mind. Yeah, we usually say, and in language we use it very loosely. We say, do you mind? Or mind your manners. Or you say that mind your language. But what is mind? Is it the heart? Is it the brain? What is the mind? Lena has a very interesting take on it, and I think I got part of my answer that I was seeking. Can we have what you think?
So this is not something I always knew. This is very new information that came to me myself. When I say me myself, as Lena, what I understood. Because the journey of what is the mind led me to psychology, then led me to spirituality, and then in July 14th of 2023, I was sitting in my balcony and thinking, I understand what existence is. I understand that I am existence. I understand that without consciousness, you cannot know anything. So life is existence. Life is existence. Life is consciousness. But then why is there no bliss? Why am I not feeling bliss after knowing all this? And then suddenly the mind went, huh? That was the chapter in the book called The Paradox. Mind suddenly went, oh, I'm trying to solve a paradox. The word paradox means unsolvable, does not have an answer. And the moment that clicked, the mind that wanted to prove, I will understand, that I, ego, just shut up. And then there was bliss. And now there is bliss and can never end because that changed. So as far as we say my mind, when you say my mind, do you mean it is attached to the body? Where is your mind? Anybody who says my mind, please raise your hands. Anybody says my mind? No, nobody wants to raise their hand. I've never said that. Yeah, that's truthful. Exactly. I expected a young boy, a little baby to be truthful. He raised his hand. He said, I say my mind. But when we say my mind, do we mean that it's connected to the body? Do you believe that your mind is connected to your body? That was a question that used to bother my brain. Yes, we all have a brain because we can have brain surgeries and we can do something with the brain. So the physical brain, I'm just giving you my point of view. If you don't like it, please just say, okay, go on to the next thing. To me, the brain is our receptor to the mind. And the mind, I will give you a simple example of a smartphone and the internet. If your body is the smartphone and the internet is the mind, the phone can be connected to the internet, but the phone does not own the internet. We may say, my internet is down. Is it yours? Do you own the internet? Can you see the whole of the internet at one go? You can only access as much as you can and want based on your number of questions, your number of accounts in the internet. You have a small space. When we say my mind, what we are referring to is like my iCloud account, my Gmail account, my Instagram account. That is as much in the mind that you have. But you are uploading things to it. Even after this body dies, won't all the photos and blogs and videos that you uploaded to the internet via your little pockets in the internet, won't it always stay there? And then somebody else can download it, somebody else reads it. Or if you uploaded all this to the mind and you take another form, being life, you are the one taking all forms. And you can come and download this and so remember, oh, I uploaded all this then. So that's for a totally different topic. But this is the mind and this is the brain. The brain connects to the internet. That is the mind. To me, the internet is an example of what the mind is like, and the smartphone is what our bodies are like. If you identify with the body, you don't have a mind, you can connect to the mind. So the mind is a realm in itself. So we have the physical realm, the ethereal realm, all this that is between us. See, this looks like space. This is what we are breathing. This is where the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi and the FM stations and everything is right here. This is the ethereal field. And you move a little further in the ethereal field and you have the astral realm. All the planets and all of that is in the astral realm. And all of this is inside the mind, the fourth realm. And the mind, according to ancient scriptures, is equal to Maya. So that's why we say this is all an illusion. Because it's in the mind, it can keep changing. And you cannot see the whole mind at one go unless you move to the next realm, which is spirituality. When you have a picture of the mind from the outside of the mind. From inside the mind, you can never see it, just like you cannot see what's here on your face. You cannot see. You have to look in a mirror, and that mirror is spirituality.
Okay. Do you see the world order changing? This is the last question. After that we can.
The world order, I'm nobody to talk about the world order, but as far as I see it, we had the Industrial Revolution, then we had so many eras, as we call it. Then we had this just, right now we're still in it, the era of big data. Everybody uploading their data on the internet. And we have this era of big data. Now what after that? After that, as I see it, we are into the age of spontaneous enlightenment. Because we don't have jobs as much because AI is taking over much of it. Not yet, wait 5 years. Agree with me, after 20 years, no hurry. This is going to stay on the internet. We're going to upload this everywhere. Everything everybody has said is all going to be on the internet. YouTube is lovely, it just goes on there. Just have to type a little statement and you will get it back. How many ever years ago it was put up. So let it all stay there. We'll review it 20 years later if you're all here. But what I'm saying is we're moving into a stage of spontaneous enlightenment. You take Gen Z, you take the youngsters of today, they don't believe in the old ideals, they don't know what to look into, but they have so much information at their fingertips. They just type a question into Google and they can answer any question. So this generation is looking for what more? So many jobs are being lost because of AI. So what are we going to do as humanity, as this human species, which is a very young species on Earth? Compared to so many other species, they are very new. And we are moving into spontaneous enlightenment. And if you are not spiritually inclined, you will not understand what is happening, and that will lead to the just before stage or the realm, called the mental realm, and you will have mental disturbances. It will disturb you. It's called dis-ease, right? You won't be at ease. Mental dis-ease. And when you have uneasiness, it will become a mental pandemic. And not just me saying this, so many people are talking about this. And I'm just hoping with this book that whoever reads this, it might give them some little tool to use in that new era that we're getting.
We end with this last question after you guys are going to now ask questions. The last question is, the book, I have read it, I'm sure some of you already have. Do you see a simplification of the book? Do we have a part 2?
Actually, the part 2 of the book came today when I met Manju. I had this written as journal notes and all that. I didn't know how it's going to come. In this book, I give my most rational point of view about self-realization. But that's the left brain take on it. But there is a right brain aspect of the fantastical, magical, spiritual, beautiful moments which are very illogical. You can never make, I cannot give you any logical explanation for those moments. And those moments, like she said, she just gave me the title of a book. She said, what about the Autobiography of the Goddess? And so the Autobiography of Goddess might be, because we have left and right brain, which behave very differently, masculine and feminine energies within us. So this is the book on the masculine, and maybe the next one will be the book on the feminine. It's all happening organically. She gave me the title. So you get the credit if I write that book. If somebody else doesn't write it before me.
Thank you very much, and thank you all of you for listening patiently.
Thank you, Manju, for the wonderful questions.
Now, any questions from the audience, please raise your hand and we'd like you to. Yes.
Sorry, my name is Sharjah. I listened to Lena's interview on YouTube. Almost 1 hour I spent time on it. And I am also on a journey for the last 20 years on a spiritual journey. I could totally relate to what he's been saying. And most of it is already there. Like here what the one is what Adi Shankara also told. It's there in the Bible also. It's all these there. But downloading information coming to you right away. Totally sick, totally good. But there's one question I wanted to ask you, rather two questions. Now, whatever the information you get, there is one information which is intellectual, right? And one which is lived reality. Right? I have got so many experiences where I have a lot of what you say I have lived. But there are a lot of things which we intellectually understand, basically what you are thinking about the mind. So how much of your experience is lived reality and how much is intellectual?
Yeah.
When we got a lot of these things from the traditional scriptures also we get it, right? So I'll ask the second question after that.
So thank you, Sharjah. Beautiful question. And if you got it, if you all got the question, I think we just answered a bit of it in the previous thing about the left and the right brain way of looking at things. So this would be the intellectual side of it, or the rational, logical explanations for our spiritual experience, trying to put it into very logical terms. I do this purposely because our logical brain or our left brain side will not, it works as the gatekeeper. It will not allow any information that is in any way mystical, illogical, and that's why most people don't get it. Because their left brain is a very good gatekeeper, saying, no, this is dangerous information. It could change us completely. It could change our reality. It could change the way we live. It could change the way we think. Be careful. And that side, if you live from only that side, it's called the ego.
No, I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's called the ego,
Correct.
only this side. But the right side experiences, which are illogical, which are mystical, which are what you call experience, lived reality. Now your lived reality will not be my lived reality, will not be anybody else's lived reality. So that book is purely autobiographical. This is not Lena's autobiography. This is the rational thing that anybody can use. Those 5 W's, anybody can use and the answers will be similar. But when we go to the right brain experiences of it, my experiences can never be anybody else's experiences. Your experiences can never be anybody else's experiences. That is our individuality and the who am I version of it. Who you are is the sum total of your experiences. What you are is life itself. Thank you.
Coming to the second question, so a lot of concepts, the blueprint, I get that part because I also believe in it, but you can change it. I differ with you in that there are a lot of things in the blueprint you can change in your life. The concept of time, that time exists, past, present and future exist at the same time. This is something I've been troubling, I've been bringing my head up as well, trying to understand that concept.
You want to hear my perspective on time.
Yes.
For me, time and mind are one and the same thing. 2 4-letter words. They're 2 4-letter words. It's time and mind. Mind is time. The moment you go beyond the realm of mind, I told you it's the 4th dimension.
Yes.
The 5th dimension being spirituality. When you come to spirituality, you're beyond space and time. The where am I and when am I does not matter. Wherever you are in meditation. Whenever you are, doesn't matter, you're in meditation. So that space, time does not exist. For the mind, time exists because the mind is linked to our brains. We cannot, and it's not a shortcoming of the mind, it's a shortcoming of our brains. Our brains are evolving, right? The human brain is an evolution.
So you say that you have a reincarnation of the multiple. I come across this concept also where people say that yes, the reincarnation happens, life has happened and it's happening at the same time. So you are in this present now as well as you are in the present, that life and they exist together. All those
Where does it exist?
How does that?
In the mind. See, in the internet, does my perspective and your perspective exist at the same time?
Yes.
But you can see only one at a time. Unless you take a split screen in your phone.
Yes.
If you split your mind, you will start to have a great experience, but you will behave very abnormal. So you will do one thing at a time. Our brains can only process one experience at a time. All the experiences exist at the same time. Can your phone show you everything that exists in the internet at the same time?
No, it cannot.
No. That same time means now. The only thing that exists is now.
Correct.
But for the brain, it is first we'll watch this video, then we'll watch that video. So this big video now becomes now. When it becomes that video, you say that the other one was the past. And then I watch the next video, which is the future. But really, all of it exists at the same time in the internet.
Yeah.
So time is a construct of the human brain, the left brain to be precise. I hope that answered your question.
I didn't know it doesn't, but I leave it at it. It will come to me.
No, it will become your experience later. But I hope logically it makes sense to you.
Yeah, kind of.
Thank you.
And did you did you also look at the simulation theory?
I look at a lot of theories. For me, I go by my experience and not theories.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful questions.
I watched all the YouTube video for 1.5 hours and I could relate to every bit of it what you said. Like, even I also think I could relate so many of your words because I also thought the same way. But after experiencing all those, the question that still I have, I want to know whether you have that question also. So whatever exists is being created. Whatever exists in this exists is being created. It's not something that is swayam or anything. It all exists. So the creator created it, and then why did he create so much confusion? Why did he create human beings with thoughts? Why do we find answers? Why all of this exists?
Have you read the book?
Which one?
My
no,
book.
I just got
You got
my
it?
signature, yeah.
So there is the email ID to reach me in the book.
Okay.
Please just read the book because I will have to say the whole book's content here as the answer
Okay.
for your question. Brilliant question. Brilliant. Because the book has 3 sections. It's called existence, second section is consciousness, and third section is bliss. And it is under 5 headings. What am I? Who am I?
Where am I?
Where am I? When am I? And why am I? So you cover all of this, and if the question still comes to you, then send me an email. If it doesn't come to you, definitely send me an email telling me that there are no more questions. That would be great success for the book. Thank you so much.
Anyone? Yeah, there's a gentleman there.
I would request the organizers to let us know when we need to get lost from here, because this could go on forever. You can let us whenever we need to get off stage. Thank you.
Hi. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm here just because of you, because I have been watching all the YouTube interviews since it has been published, and I'm really interested because I have been seeing you from my very childhood days onwards in the albums. And what brought me here, because you are more closer to Osho, the Osho meditation, and I'm also a fan of Osho, and I have gone through the book The Secret, Byron Tantra. And you just mentioned that you had an interaction with Mohanlal while you were wearing the set of Bhagavan, and it was the courage. So my question is, you are interacting with the people of experience, because it is something very subjective and very internal, and you are speaking to the person who hasn't been experienced it. So it needs a kind of courage, right? It needs a real courage, because...
Are you telling me it was synchronicity that I was reading the book Courage?
No, I just connected, that's all. Because my question is, it needs a kind of courage to interact with people, because as you mentioned that we are living in the world of logic, and you are speaking something of a great surrender. Because I just wanted to see you when I started watching you in the YouTube, and somehow the universe has brought me here and brought you here.
What is your name?
Shanu.
Shanu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shanu, for your words. I know this is not a question, it is more just a testimony.
No, I just want to know. So when the response comes, how do you feel? That means there are many mixture of
Responses.
feedback. Yeah.
So like I said, we are all different versions of the same life. So you can make if you take atta or flour, wheat flour, you can make bread, you can make chapatis, you can make puris, you can make godam puttu, you can make a million things with just godam. You can make godam curry, you can make godam payasam. I don't know, those who cook can tell you can make a million things out of just wheat. So we are life itself. Does puri taste like puttu? Does cake taste like chapati? But it's all wheat. So I'm taking in all the response with so much love that they responded it connected at some point. For those whom it didn't understand, it created some crack in their armor. The ego is an armor that we put up because we don't know what we are. We need to protect ourselves. We need to have boundaries. This is me and that is you. So that we are separate and everything is safe. Nothing wrong with it. That's a natural process. So souls mature gradually. Just because I'm an old soul, it should make me more tolerant and understanding of younger souls that are growing up. And I'm watching them and they responded with so much vigor. It created a crack in their armor. And the light enters only through the cracks. I didn't say this, Khalil Gibran.
Let the light spread into all the souls.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here. Wish you all the best.
Yes, so there's a lady.
You want us to leave, right? We have a lot of friends from the press. Does anyone want to ask any questions? This must be the first time somebody is courting danger like this. I don't think anybody has any more questions here, and oh wow, you're hiding behind me.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
First of all, congratulations on the success of your book. Ma'am, to be very honest, I haven't read your book yet. I'm hoping to grab a copy today. And I haven't heard your interviews also fully.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just snippets of it. But interestingly, when your interview came, I started off with it. I know just here and there your bits and pieces. I haven't been able to read it
You know what? Some of the lovely trolls.
No, that's so yesterday a friend of mine who actually told me that you're coming here, she mentioned that there's been a lot of trolls, and interestingly, although I'm quite active on Instagram, I haven't seen a single troll yet. So I guess my aura was very protected. And I feel like he said, I was hoping to meet you and actually get a copy of the book. I was wondering how to get it from Kerala and all that. But anyways, finally I'm here.
I think we have a few copies of the book here, right? Yeah, we have a few copies here. Sri Akbar will be dealing with it. You can just contact him. He's Akbar from Lipi Books. He will get in touch with you.
Ma'am, two questions. First of all, yes, whatever the little I heard, I could resonate to it, especially even the shaving head part, even that I could connect. Not getting into that in detail, but two things I wanted to actually ask this. You being in the fame, in the industry, what is that one trigger that made you be vocal about it? Like he said, you see the trolls and everything, people start gossiping. And of course, even in a movie when you see, you get good and bad reviews. But this is something a little more intense, and although I truly believe that eventually people will get here, for sure. And like you said, I don't think it needs to wait for 20 years, much before that people will get here. So I'm super confident.
You're optimistic.
Very much about it. Second question is, during this journey, you said about 20 years, 19 and a half years, did you come across any kind of connections from your past karmic accounts, or did you go through any kind of obstacles or hurdles in this journey?
There are only obstacles, as you can see.
So how did you come across? Did you give up, or did you and of course you didn't give up, which is why you
So I'm going to stop you right here because there are at least 10 questions in your statement. So I'll just answer you with this. Thank you. It's brilliant, and thank you for resonating. The simple thing is that everything leads to the next. So there's nothing that Lena personally can orchestrate. It's just an unfolding of life itself, the blueprint. And the obstacles you were talking about, those obstacles are what show us the direction. You're going this way, and that dip there is an obstacle. So you look for the stairs. If it's a bigger dip, this you might just jump. But anywhere an obstacle comes, it tells you pay attention here. So you pay attention and you be thankful to the obstacle. Oh, thank you for showing me the right way. And you just move on. And that's the journey, as far as I see it. So I'm thankful to the obstacles, I'm thankful to the guides, I'm thankful to the signs, I'm thankful to every single one. I'm just telling you, there's so much magic in life. Let's start living this magical side of it. Let's stop worrying so much. Let's stop living from our egos and feeling like we are in a box. That box is called your ego. Let's get out of it. And let's get out of here. They're going to kill us out now.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for coming in, and making this celebration happen. Thank you, Manju. Thank you, Minnie. Thank you, Lena.
Thank you, Jovan. Jovan is a great friend of mine who just agreed to do this because so many people were scared. And Jovan cannot be scared. Thank you.
The books are here. Anyone?
ലിപി ബുക്സിലെ ശ്രീ അക്ബറിനെയാണ് ഞാൻ പരിചയപ്പെട്ടത്. വളരെയധികം ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്തു ഞാൻ ഇവിടം വരെ വന്ന്. ഈ ഒരു എൻറ്റയർ സെഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവാൻ തന്നെ എൻ്റെ ഫസ്റ്റ് പോയിൻ്റ് ഓഫ് കോൺടാക്റ്റ് ശ്രീ അക്ബർ തന്നെയായിരുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു സോ വെരി മച്ച്. ഒരുപാട് വളരെ ഈസി ആക്കി തന്നു. എന്തോരം സഹകരണം ഉണ്ടായെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ ബുക്കുകൾ ഇവിടെ ഫിസിക്കലി കോപ്പീസ് എത്താൻ തന്നെ പുള്ളി എയർ കാർഗോയിൽ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വിട്ടതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെയാണ്. സോ എല്ലാം ലാസ്റ്റ് മിനിറ്റ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് വളരെ ഹറിബറീഡ് ആയിരുന്നു. എന്നാലും വളരെയധികം ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്തു. താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച്.